Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of To The Max Outdoors. Today's little video is just going to be on some preventative maintenance for tree stand care, stuff like that. It's early summer right now. I've got my climbing stand out here and I've got a lock-on stand right there and the set of sticks that I use to get up to that lock-on stand. What I'm going to do is every summer I make a habit out of spending a day or half a day. It really doesn't take that long, a couple hours, look everything over. I take everything down from year to year. I'm not a fan of leaving stuff up. In my experience, I've left some things up before. Water gets trapped inside one of them climbing sticks or inside something that's steel most of the time. Most of this stuff's built out of steel. If water gets trapped in there and it freezes, it busts it open. This stuff's just thin-walled metal, and you've now ruined that. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to climb up in that the first time you go up and get in it, and it could wreak havoc on your day. So this is just a short little video to tell you how I look over everything. Now this tree stand right here, sitting on this set of sawhorses in the plywood, this is my primary hunting tree stand. Like I said, I try to stay pretty mobile for the most part. I do have ladder stands, but I try to stay fairly mobile when I go to a different place. I do a lot of public ground hunting, and I do a lot of hunting on big leases in the central part of the state that's in the mountains and constantly moving to find a food source. It's just how it is. There's no agriculture in my area. I can't go set up and say, I'm gonna put that lock-on stand in a permanent position. I just don't have that luxury. So we'll take a look at this one. Now, this past year, I did realize that the cables that attach this to the tree. So this is a Summit Viper Open Shot, I believe is the name of it. It's an all aluminum tree stand. I love it. It weighs hardly nothing, 15, 16 pounds, I believe. Fits on the rack of the four-wheeler perfectly, fits down in the floor of the boat perfectly, stores away in the bed of the truck. Heck, you can put this in the back seat of a car. Nevertheless, this thing gets a lot of seat time for me out of it, or stand time. I don't sit a whole lot, but I noticed that the cables in the back of it, shoot, brain fart there. The heat shrink tubing was peeling back off of it, and I peeled it down. Actually, as I was sitting in it, it was actually muzzleloader season this past year. And the cable itself is a stainless steel cable, but the ferrules that are swedged to it are steel. The steel had been rusting underneath of this heat shrink tubing. I don't know if you can see that. The steel had been rusting underneath of that and was bleeding down into the cables, and is actually starting to cause some what's called rust jacking. It bleeds itself down inside of that stainless, and what it does is it starts to open up and it was starting to separate the cable strands inside of there. So that was a pretty simple fix. Although I got down out of it that day, it scared me. I got out of it. I went to Cabela's, picked up a set of Summit brand replacement cables, 30 bucks. Change them out. It takes 30 seconds to change them out. All they do is they fit down into tubes, and they're adjustable. This style of tree stand here adjusts to fit multiple diameters of trees. It'll put your platform high or low, however you want to do it. Pretty versatile tree stand, that's why I like it. It's that simple. Look over your stuff all the time. Constantly keep eyes on your stuff. A couple other little tips that I think a lot of people overlook. We get in a hurry. We're in the habit of being in a hurry all the time. This isn't something we should be in a hurry about. Granted, we all wear a safety harness of some kind. Still don't want to be hanging out outside of a tree from that safety harness when you're by yourself. So I look over all your load-bearing points on this thing. Look for any bent or deformed metal. This here, like I said, this happens to be a climbing tree stand. But before every use, during this time of the year, I'm going to take my time. I'm going to look at all the weld joints. I'm going to look at all the structural points of this thing. I'm going to look back into here. These are the teeth that grabbed into the tree. I personally took this tree stand. Like I said, I've had this thing for 15, 20 years. I personally have ground some teeth into this thing. It had a small, slight tapered profile to grab a tree. I've ground some teeth in it. I hunt a lot of shagbark hickory for the most part. In the one part of public property is a ton of shagbark hickory. That stuff's hard to get locked into. So I'm going to inspect all my teeth here, make sure none of my teeth are cracked. I'm gonna look at all the welds that hold this cutting surface attachment point to it. Put my hands on everything, feel for any cracks or nicks or gouges. Believe it or not, in aluminum, a gouge will cause a fatigue crack. I know it sounds silly, but I've been in heavy aircraft, commercial, heavy aircraft maintenance for a lot of years, and I will tell you that a gouge will turn into a crack. Look it over. It's honestly 10 minutes, you can look everything over. That was the seat part of it there. This is the platform side of it. Same thing. Look it all over. Check your straps over. I just have a rope tied from my bottom piece to my top piece. That way if you're climbing a tree and your feet fall out of the stirrups or whatnot, the bottom part doesn't go running down the tree and you're hanging there trying to hold on to this. I think the newer style tree stands have this have a cable or have a strap like this that lock it together, I believe, but this style didn't. It's pretty easy thing there to prevent a lot of grief on you. So there again, look everything over. When you're happy with it, put it back away, and you'll have that peace of mind knowing that when you go to use this thing next time, you know, hunting season really is only a couple months away, 3 months away, I believe, right now. So got a motorcycle going by. Sorry about that, up the public road above my house. What I was trying to say is take that 10 minutes, look everything over. If you find damage, make a determination. Is the damage significant enough that I need to get it repaired? Is the damage significant enough that I need to get rid of it? Don't chance any of this stuff. There's no sense in chancing any of it. Let's move on to this lock-on stand here. This lock-on stand here is a Big Game Hunter XL, I believe. It's about 4 years old, I believe. I only run one of these lock-on stands. It's a nice day, I can't help it. There's motorcycles everywhere. I apologize for all that. But this lock-on stand here, the cables on this lock-on stand are actually rust jacking, just like I was talking about on the other one. I have ordered these, they've yet to come in. If I don't get these new cables within a timely manner, I will go purchase another one. Are they bad right now? Absolutely not. They would probably hold a gorilla, but I'm not putting myself in it. I only run one of these style tree stands anymore. Just it's on a local piece of property here. Property owner doesn't want four-wheelers in on it, so I'll take this in, hang it up early in the year, and I'll hunt it. I've hunted that piece of property for a long time. I know pretty much where the deer move, so I'm comfortable leaving this stand there, and I know it's in a good area. But like I said, I've looked this thing over. I've looked the backbone over, like where where your chain or your cables would attach to it. I'm searching for defects in it anywhere. Again, it's a $100 tree stand. It's not really worth. It's not worth going running with a crack in it. Like I was saying earlier, if you would happen to leave this thing up and water got down in this backbone and froze, a tree stand's ruined. If you don't look at that kind of stuff and you leave it up from year to year, you go to get up in it and this thing is compromised, your weight is setting on this. And this is on the tree, my arm's the tree. That's where your weight's pulling on it. Don't take that stuff for a chance. Like these cables right here, I said these cables are rust jacking. I'm not going to chance myself on it. They're $25. Granted, I haven't got them yet because of this COVID nonsense. It's still got the world a mess. But if I don't get them, I'll run the dicks and buy another tree stand. It's not that big a deal. Don't take this stuff for granted. Pay a little bit of attention to stuff. You got a family you want to come home to. But when I'm looking it over, I'm also looking at all the attachment bolts also. Now, in my personal opinion, over the years when I've changed these cables out on tree stands prior, I will change the bolts out too, the bolts and nuts. The only thing I'll reuse is the plastic washers. That's what keeps everything quiet when it moves. But I'll go to Ace Hardware, buy grade 8 bolts. Yeah, I know they're a little more expensive and I know they're way overkill, but it's peace of mind for me. When I change these cables out, I change the bolts out. on the platform side and the backbone side. It's that simple. Check over all your expanded metal. If you find a piece that's pulled up, clamp it down, weld it together with a MIG welder. If you don't have a MIG welder, I'm sure a friend will. It's pretty simple. This stuff here, like I said, honestly, I'm exaggerating inspecting all that stuff, but in a matter of minutes, you can look over all this stuff, run your hand up along everything. You're going to feel a defect in it. You're going to feel a burr in it. You're going to feel a crack. Look it all over. It's that simple. Don't take this stuff for chances. Moving on to the climbing sticks. Like I said, I only run one of those style of lock-on stands anymore. I use 5 sets of sticks to get up to it. I believe are 4-foot sections. But there again, you're going to look them over. This is the bottom piece. That's what fits on the ground. I'm going to look it over. Now that is factory bent like that. That is not deformed. That's how the factory puts it down like that. I'm going to look it over. I'm going to check. See right there, loose bolt. That's the part that attaches to the tree that you put your cable or your ratchet straps in to cinch it to the tree. That's loose. I know it's loose, and I'm also looking at it. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that nut and that bolt have pretty significant corrosion on it. They're gone. I'm replacing it. It's that simple. Don't take this stuff for granted. Hardware is inexpensive. Your life is not. It's pretty easy to do. Like I said, I'm looking over everything, checking all my hardware. There again, there's my second one. My second piece here I've looked at. The bolt and the nut are both corroded. They're gone. I'm gonna go to Ace Hardware. I'm gonna buy the new bolts that attach the cables to that tree stand, and I'm gonna buy new hardware that attaches the tree side to the stick. It's that simple. Don't chance this stuff. I'm also filling down the tubes too. I'm feeling if water got in there and froze on them, deformed them, cracked them. If they do, I'm going to weld them back up. I'm confident enough welder that I'll do that. If you're not confident in them, pitch them. They're like 30 bucks for 16 feet of them maybe for these to buy at Dick's. I think I just looked at them. There again, there's another one that's loose. It'll get new hardware. All I'm trying to tell you guys is it's really simple. Honestly, it doesn't take 10-15 minutes. Look over your equipment. I'm also going to brush the dirt off this stuff. I bought some primer. I'm going to prime everything again. Obviously, after I change all the hardware out on them, I'm going to paint everything, prime everything up, and it's that simple. I hope that helps somebody. You know, I hope somebody goes out and looks at their equipment from this little bit of a video. I've had a couple friends that have fell out of tree stands, and it's fortunately they didn't have any lasting injuries, but it was all over, you know, being in a hurry too quick. A friend of mine fell out of a climbing tree stand. It's because he didn't have his tops and bottom tied together. He was climbing, his feet slipped out, the bottom slipped out, and the seat part was too high. Luckily, he only fell about 6 foot, but he broke his ankle. It's being in a hurry. Don't be in a hurry. You got all summer right now. You got 2.5, 3 months before hunting season. If your stuff is in the woods right now, I suggest you get out and look at it. Don't take this stuff for chance. I know we all leave ladder stands out. I've left them out before too. I'm hard on myself now that I don't do it, but I've done it in the past. A little bit of water gets down in that railing, freezes up. I mean, that's your support. The ladder part of that is your support. Squirrels chew on ratchet straps. They chew on the webbing. Take 5 minutes and look at that stuff, guys. So leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys do. Give me a reply back. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. There again, 5 minutes could cost you a lifetime of pain or havoc, or nobody wants to lose a family member, and I'm sure your family wants you to come home safe. So thank you for watching, and I hope it helps.